folks, I'm Ian Baker, and today we're going to go over the 2020 Cruiser MPG 3200DB. This is an awesome family bunk model. You have double over double bunks, a big super slide opening up this space. Your sofa is directly across from the TV, and get this, you have 2 full bathrooms. That's fantastic. That way the kids have their own, you have their own, everyone can get ready at the same time. You're not fighting in the morning. Let's start off here in the kitchen. One of the things you'll notice right away is the excellent countertop space you have. You have the L-shaped kitchen, so you have all this prep space right here, which I love. Also, you have a spot back here if you want to put like your coffee maker. A couple of electrical outlets located underneath the cabinets too, so you have a couple places to plug those in at. The large stainless steel single bowl, you can see how big that is. The sink top cover as well allows you to utilize that as prep space, and you can flip it over and you have a big cutting board. I always recommend to use the bottom, that way the top side stays looking pretty and all your knife marks aren't seen. You'll also notice the high-rise faucet, making it easier to wash and rinse dishes. Over to this side is your 3-burner recessed cooktop with the glass cover. Again, you get to use this as prep space. You can fold that up and back. That doubles as a backsplash and gives you access to those 3 burners. Because it is a Furion, your knobs do light up there, and this one also has the oven underneath if you want to do some baking. No kitchen is complete without a couple of drawers, and you will see here they have a bank of 3 drawers. One of them already has your flatware divider in there, which I like. It looks a little nicer, a little more residential. You don't have this little plastic tray hanging out in there. And again, you have several drawers, full extension on there. Underneath the sink, you'll see that they have a built-in shelf, good spot for pots and pans. I personally wish they would have left one of these open so you would have a spot to put a trash can, but you know, in the kitchen like this, you'd still need a spot for pots and pans, so it is still quite usable. All along the top is additional storage. Open that up so you can kind of take a look at what you're working with. You will see that you have frosted glass on there, helping to break up the wood look. Microwave over to this side and a hood underneath, a little bit sleeker, kind of more streamlined. Stainless steel helping to bring in that suite of appliances. You'll see they have a stainless and black look throughout. A little bit of storage right up top in that cubby hole. Dometic fridge freezer combo. You'll see plenty of space there, a cutout as well. This unit does run off both propane and electric and has automatic switchover. As I mentioned previously, the entertainment center, folks, is directly across from the sofa. That's something that's generally not super easy to accomplish in a bunk model, but I love when they do it because the kids have their bunk space they can hang out in on the rainy day, and you get the sofa. Everyone gets to watch their TV and electronics. I know that's not the reason we go camping, but on a rainy day, it will save your life. So here it is, as I mentioned, straight across. There is a multimedia center hooked up to that. This controls the speakers both inside and outside, and it's Bluetooth capable. Plus, this is a DVD player, so if you do want to watch a movie, pop it in, you're good to go. Main control panel right next to that. Something that is a little more unique on the MPG is that your battery disconnect is on the inside rather than the outside, so just know that you do have that, so you can kill all power to the coach so it doesn't have that parasitic drain on your battery when you're not using it. Underneath is the fireplace. Now, I have a lot of customers that see a fireplace in a travel trailer and they're like, you know, this is just overkill. I don't get it. Why do you need it? And of course you don't need it. You don't need a lot of things in a travel trailer. But what I do like about it is the fact that it looks great. And much more importantly, folks, is that this is a big space heater. So if you are camping and you have shore power, you don't want to run your propane, you can run this fireplace. You can sit here on the sofa. It'll keep you nice and toasty. And that's basically free heat. That's a win in my book. Coming around the corner, take a look at this. This is something that every camper needs, and that is a huge pantry. You want to talk about a ton of extra space, you have it here. It is a little divided just because, you know, I want to stuff it with food goods, I want to stuff it with pots and pans and everything else, but the kids need a place for their clothes as well, so some of it's probably going to have to be allocated to that. But you will see they have some robe hooks in here too, so that way, as soon as you come in, or rather coat hooks, I guess, that we can hang your jackets up if you're camping in colder weather. That's pretty convenient. Plus, it gives you an excellent spot to put all your shoes, so your shoes aren't cluttering up your main thoroughfare here. And then in the back rear corner are double over double bunks. Teddy Bear Bunk Series, super soft. You'll see you have LED lights, also electrical outlets. So I talk about kids having their own space here. Folks, you can give them their tablets, their cell phones, whatever on that rainy day. They can sit in their own bunks. They have their space. Again, I've been camping, and it definitely, when you're going through that 3 to 4 day week where it's just raining like the whole time, that is definitely a good thing to have. You will also see the ladder. It's built in. I know this seems like a minor feature, but a lot of times in my experience, it's always my little one that wants to sleep on the top bunk, and she can never get up there. And after constantly having to toss her up and down, it gets kind of old. So having the ladder here allows her to climb up. And, you know, because my older son, he could care less, right? He just wants to crawl in and go to bed. My daughter loves being up high. Coming right over here underneath, good storage there. I like this too because this gives you a spot where you can put like your laundry basket for the kids' clothes. So that way when they're dirty, they have a spot to put the dirty clothes right down underneath there. If you want to throw some duffel bags with clean clothes, you can do that too. In the back corner is our first of 2 full baths. So we take a seat here. You'll see that the toilet is kind of on an angle. I have pretty good space, plenty for my shoulder room. My left foot does touch a little bit, but realistically, I mean, I have more than enough space in here. Countertop extends out. It's not huge, but it does give you a little bit of space. You know, if you need to set down like a curling iron or something like that, you may be able to put it there. Little bit of storage space there too. You'll see the sink, electrical outlet, mirrored medicine cabinet up top. If we come down below, plumbing access, and then you have a spot for some extra rolls of toilet paper or your black tank chemicals. And then the shower, I'll take a step in here just to give you an idea of height. So again, I'm 6 foot tall. You can see even without the skylight, I can actually stand fully up. I don't have to bend down at all. With that skylight, you can probably be 6'2", maybe 6'3", and still not have to bend over. You can shower in here, no problem. So if you're a tall family, the kids are taller, no worries there. Coming around to the side, thermostat. This one has fully ducted AC as well as fully ducted heat. Directly underneath that is your tank monitoring panel. Both your water pump and water heater controls are on there too. And then we get into the super slide. So as I mentioned a couple times now, sofa directly across from the TV. Center armrest does drop down, or the center cushion there drops down into an armrest rather. Some cup holders. And this makes it a lot more comfortable because as you see, this jackknife sofa has built-in armrests on the side, which a lot of them don't in the industry. So this kind of gives you almost like a pseudo theater seating setup, which I really enjoy. Also, great thing about a jackknife, of course, is all the storage you get underneath. It's very easy to access, gives you a ton of storage for some of your larger items, and if you need to drop it down into some additional sleeping space, you can. Granted, most adults probably won't be able to sleep there, but it is great for an additional child. Moving over a little bit further is the dinette. I'll slip in here just to show you an idea of size. So again, 4 people can very comfortably sit at this dinette, play a game together, eat a meal together. You have a big window letting in a lot of natural light, and this drops down into a bed as well. If we come forward a little bit, kind of toward the front of the camper, we'll move into the second bathroom. So as you'll see, this one is a walk-through bath, which I know a lot of people don't like in a camper, but in this setup, it's not as big of a deal because you have that second bathroom in the back. Over on the one side is the shower, and again, just like the one we had in the very back, you'll see you have plenty of room here, nice big skylight. Right down underneath that is the toilet. You will also see that there is plenty of leg room here. You know, my shoulder does rub a little bit on the linen closet, but again, no big worries at all. That's plenty of space. Speaking of that, there is that linen closet there for all of your towels. And then over to this side, again, mirrored medicine cabinet, very similar countertop setup, a little bit deeper here, which I like, so that way, you know, I feel a little bit safer putting items on that ledge. And again, you have that storage underneath. If you take a look at the bedroom, there is a slider door, so you do have that additional privacy if someone is to use this restroom. And when we step up in, one of the things you'll notice right away, folks, is the king size bed. Again, that's something that's a little more rare in a travel trailer. A lot of times it's a queen. They're able to fit a king in here, so you're not elbowing each other in the middle of the night. Both sides have nightstands with electrical outlets. You'll see wardrobes along the top, additional storage. It's a little more decorative too. I like that they kind of broke it up a little bit. You'll see how it, you know, kind of drops down here. A lot of times it's just straight across and pretty boring, but I think they did a good job helping to spice that up a little. Also on the far side, you will notice there is a spot to hook up a TV in case you want a TV in the bedroom. And lastly, as you would expect, there is storage underneath the bed, again, for some of your larger items. Now that we've seen the inside, let's take a look at some of the outside features on the 2020 Cruiser MPG 3200DB. Right up front is a power tongue jack, and folks, this makes it much easier to connect and disconnect from your tow vehicles because all you have to do is flip the rocker switch to raise and lower the tongue. You'll also see you have a light on there for added visibility at night. In the rare event the motor does fail, there's also a manual override, so that way you're not stuck out at your campsite. Behind that are two 20-pound propane tanks with a cover, and you will see rails here for your battery box. Another thing that's kind of neat, you'll see your little leash for your pets. You actually have two of these on this RV. You have one right up front and another one in the back. So that way you can tie them up. You don't have to worry about them running around the campsite. You'll see the diamond plating coming up the front. That way it'll help protect from any rocks or debris that may get thrown up by your tow vehicle. And the front 3/4 cap right above that. It's absolutely gorgeous. They did a great job. You kind of have the black here in the center, almost giving it like a faux windshield look. And you will see the LED lights inlaid in there, which make it look extra sharp at night. Coming around to the side. Couple things on the pass-through. One, you'll notice it has a covered hinge. That way your hinge isn't getting all rusted. You don't have a bunch of rust coming down your door. It's also slam latch and it's magnetic, so you can put it up, sticks right there. That's fantastic to have on a bunk model because the kids will come, they'll go to slam it shut just like that. With those plastic clips, a lot of times it'll snap them and break them. With the magnets, you don't have to worry about it. You take a look inside, you can see how large and open this pass-through is. This is huge for a travel trailer. A ton of space in there. You can also see the aluminum because this unit is fully laminated. You will notice the LED light runs the entire length, so that way it lights up your whole pass-through so you can see everything that's in there. As I mentioned inside, this one does have two entrances and exits. The first one here directly into the bedroom, 3 foldable steps. The smaller grab handle, because this is your secondary entrance, you obviously aren't going to be using this one quite as much. Coming down a little bit further, so as we saw, we had 2 bathrooms in here, and as such, you also have to carry a lot of fresh water if you're not going to have city water. So this one has 2 freshwater tanks. You'll have one inlet here, another one right in the back, and this one has 88 gallons of fresh water capacity. That's a ton. 60-gallon black, 60 for the gray, 88 for fresh. So if you plan on boondocking, this is one where you'll definitely have enough water with you. Making our way back a little bit further, as I mentioned right there is that second fresh tank fill, your outside TV hookups with your cable outlet and electrical outlet. Dropping down, you'll notice the aluminum alloy wheels, which not just look great now, but will continue to do so for years to come because aluminum doesn't rust. Up above, you have a huge power awning. Touch a button to roll that out, same thing to go back in, and you have 2 outside speakers underneath that to play music, plus an LED light so you can keep that music going at night, keep the party going. You will notice the power awning not only covers your main entrance, but also the outside kitchen. We'll get to that in just a moment. As I mentioned, the second entrance here, 3 foldable steps, big foldable grab handle. That gives you the more control from the very first step all the way in. One of the things you can't really see underneath, this one does have a fully enclosed, insulated, and heated underbelly, which will do a couple great things for you. One, it'll help keep off a lot of the road grime as you're driving, especially if you're driving, you know, kind of in like winter time and there's all that salt and everything on the road. Helps protect that underbelly. Also, it'll hopefully help keep some of the rodents out in the off season, and in the colder season, it will help prevent some of your lines and tanks and stuff from freezing up on you. Now let's talk about that outside kitchen. This is one of my favorite parts about having a bunk model. You have the sink, you have the 2-burner cooktop right here. You'll see a little bit of storage. And then, of course, my personal favorite part, the outside refrigerator. This gives you a place to put your beverages, condiments, whatever else you need right outside. And as I mentioned, there is that other leash latch for you. Coming around to the back side, square tubular bumper with an end cap gives you a convenient spot in which you can store your sewer hose. Mounted to that is the spare tire. Great thing about this is probably the easiest place to get to a spare. Up top is your backup camera prep. So if you want a backup camera, having that prep makes it easier to have that installed, meaning it'll save you money on labor. And as we come around to the off-door side, we'll drop down real quick just to show you this. This is one of 2 terminations. Again, this one has 2 bathrooms, so as you'd expect, you have 2 sets of both black and gray tank valves, the first one being here. Majority of your connections are here on the back of the camper, which is nice because most of the time this is where you will be hooking up at. So you will see your 50 amp power inlet right there, detachable power cord, spray port for your water, cable inlet, satellite inlet, city water inlet, black tank flush. That's a great thing to have. You actually have that on both black tanks as well. So that when you're done camping, you can just stick that down your toilet to wash out your black tank. Or sorry, rather than having to stick a hose down your toilet to wash out your black tank, you can hook it up right there. Black tank has sprayers built in, it'll wash it out for you. Same kind of setup here, city water inlet again, black tank flush there. And if you drop down, you will see that this one has your second termination located there, again with another set of black and gray tank valves. Last thing I want to touch on, folks, is right up front. You'll see this one is prepped for solar. Again, I talked about how this was great for boondocking. Has a solar prep. Buy those portable panels, plug it in right there. It's pre-wired, and it will trickle charge your battery. All right, folks, and that wraps it up. Again, this is the 2020 MPG 3200DB. If you're interested in this travel trailer and you would like price and availability, simply click on the link in the description. Thanks again for watching. I'm Ian Baker, and let's go camping.